Hello, this is Starbigs, and this is episode 1 of my podcast, The Open Book. I'm here to discuss and talk about different things, and one of them is we have a lot of people, a lot of different groups and communities out there standing up for their beliefs and what they believe in. Like, how can I word this? They are protesting out there. And the thing of it is I don't understand, you got these things going on like human trafficking and children trafficking, and then you got people out there that are still to this day suffering by being slaves, and some people out there are not aware of this, but apparently it's still happening. I've heard it through a lot of different people and whatnot. Apparently these people seem so intelligent that they did their homework and research, and they apparently stated that, slavery, or people out there are still suffering from slavery and whatnot. And I just want to know is, why is it nobody out there protesting about things like this? That's what I don't understand. I mean, you got people out here protesting about different things, but yet maybe there are some groups out there that are protesting about human trafficking and children trafficking, and you know the suffering of people out there that are still suffering from being slaves and whatnot. But from what I see, I don't see it as much as I see other people out there protesting and stuff. You know, it's like it's not a big, huge thing that is being shown on the news and whatnot. It's always stuff like, for an example, you got people out there protesting about trans people, or people are protesting about the pride, like the community pride, about people being gay or being a lesbian or being bisexual or whatever the case may be, you name it. And not only that, but you have people out there protesting on the whole Black Lives Matter, you know. And I'm just sitting here wondering, like, do people care that human beings and children are out there being trafficking? Or not only that, or do people out there care that there are people still out there suffering by being slaves and whatnot? Like, why is it nobody batting an eye on that? No, why is it that I don't see nobody doing anything about that, by protesting about that? It's always about the whole pro-life and non-pro-life and all this gender and whatnot and everything else. But I don't see with my own eyes that there are anybody out there that are protesting on human trafficking or children trafficking, or people still suffering by being slaves and all this other stuff. And I just don't get it. Does people not care anymore? I mean, what's going on? And then I'm sure there are people out there that are protesting on animal cruelty, and I know I see some people doing that. Groups of people protesting on animal cruelty and whatnot, but there's other things that are very, very important that people should be fighting for, by taking a stand on something when it comes to human trafficking and children trafficking and people that are still suffering by being slaves. I don't understand that. I really don't. And I'm gonna say something here. Here's another thing I want to speak on about is why is everything so labeled nowadays? Everything is so labeled, and it's crazy. It's like everything is so labeled, and everybody is so focusing on the differences that we have with one another to where it causes people to fight against each other instead of saying, "Oh, well, you like this and you dislike that. Oh, that's cool. Well, I mean, I don't agree with what you agree with, or I agree with you. Won't we just agree to disagree and move on and continue living our lives and still be in each other's lives and just still support and respect one another's likes and dislikes or beliefs or non-beliefs or the differences of our morals or whatever the case may be. And everything is so different nowadays. It's to the point where somebody cannot dislike, like hypothetically, if you are in a room with a whole bunch of people, right, and somebody comes up to you and say, "Oh, do you like this artist?" And this person comes out and says, "Oh, I don't like that artist. I don't mess with their music or whatever." The next thing you know, that person is gonna be like, "Oh, blah blah blah," and they're gonna cuss the person out, and it's gonna become a full blown fighting match between two people because that one person didn't like the fact that the other person didn't like their favorite artist. And it's crazy nowadays. Everything is so crazy and backwards, and it's just it's so upsetting, and it hurts my soul to see things like this happening in the world. And it's mind blowing, and it just I just don't get it. I just don't get it one bit. And you got a lot of things that are going on in this world that everybody should be fighting and standing for, and people are just so wrapped up on what their favorite artist, their favorite singer, their favorite rapper, their favorite actor, their favorite celebrity, and etc., on what they're doing, and they're so focusing on that instead of living their life, fighting for what's right, making a stand on something, and doing so much that they should be doing. Like, they should take action on standing what they believe in and whatnot and just stick with it. You know? Like, everybody is so focusing on things that they shouldn't be focusing on. I mean, there's so much more things that's going on in this world that everybody should be coming together and taking a stand and fighting what's right and trying to make things better for everyone. And it just seems like nobody cares anymore. Everybody is just like, well, whatever happens, happens. And I know this because I feel it sometimes. I have that mindset too where I'm like, you know, I don't care anymore. And I do feel like that sometimes, and I still struggle with my mindset of thinking that way. And it's normal, you know, it is what it is. But the thing about it is the more we have this mindset, the more things are going to get worse. Not for us, but the upcoming the upcoming generations, you know, that's ahead of us with the children that we have or we don't have, or I don't have any children, but I'm just saying, I worry about future children when they grow up to be a certain age and then we are close to our deathbed and we're an older whatever, and we're just, and things are way worse than what it was when we were like 20 or 30 years old, and then we see that it's way worse, and then we're still struggling to survive until Heavenly Father, calls us and we end up going to heaven, and we're no longer living in this world, and we got that mindset that we're worried of what's going to happen to our loved ones that we raised, or the loved ones of a friend or family, you know, when they hit a certain age, when they hit the 20 years old or 19-year-old stage, or when they become a teenager, or they become an age where they're 30 years old or something, and we're no longer here, and it's way worse than ever. But yet we can't do nothing because we're no longer living and we're in heaven, you know. I pray that this world becomes better, but hopefully one day it will. Hopefully it will. Or maybe it'll come a day where Heavenly Father just wipes this whole earth out of existence, where the world is no longer, and then he rebuilds it all over again, and it's like he brings us all back, but we have no memories of our old life, and then we end up having these deja vu, deja vu, the deja vu, where we have these images, like we're like, didn't we do this before? Did this happen before? It's like, I know I did this before, and it's like you get these memories or these little glimpses that you did something before the same way, and you had the same, like you smell the same type of smell, like you did it before, and you're having the same smell of scent that you smelt when you had that glimpse of memory, like you've done something before, but you didn't. It's one of those, and I do think that we all do end up being reborn and in the future lives and whatnot. Like, we all die and pass away, and then we get reborn again, but we become someone else. We don't have the same name, but we have the like we don't have the same name, but we have the same like spirit. Like, we have the same soul, and we sometimes we remember something that we did in our past lives when we were alive, but some people don't, because sometimes when you grow into a certain age or whatever, it's like the whole memory of your past life is wiped. Like, you no longer remember that life at all. Like, it basically becomes a life where you will no longer remember anymore, because you start think, oh well, this life I have now, it's my first time living, you know. But maybe we do come back after we die, but we come back as a different person, and our body's different. The shape of our body is different, and the memories, we have like some type of memory of our past life when we were little, like a baby stage or whatever. But when we hit a certain age, like we hit an adult stage or a teen stage or whatever, and it just, that past life memory just gets wiped from your memory. It's like you don't even remember what happened in your past life anymore, and it's to the point where you got this mindset to where you're like, oh my God, this is my first time living, you know. And then you have the mindset that where if you think that the moment you die, that's it for you. You no longer come back to life or whatever. But sometimes I wonder because, you know, you have these deja vu memories. I don't know how to pronounce that word right. I get tongue tied. But you get these little glimpses of memories of where you think you did something the exact same way and you smell the exact same smell at that exact same moment. But you're like, no, I don't. Why do I think I did this before? I know I didn't do this before because if I did, I will remember it. Like, did I do this before? I don't think I did it. I don't think I did this before, but why do I have these memories like I've done this before, or I did this action before, or I was here before and I did this before, and you're like, no, it can't be because you know I don't remember doing that, but in reality, maybe in reality you did do it, but it was in your past life, but you just don't have the same name and you don't have the same body as you used to have in that past life because you're in a different um different time to where you're a different person but you have the same soul and you have the same soul and the same spirit but you're in another body but it belongs to you though. It's your body but you know I have these you know these thoughts that run through my mind things like this. And I've never, you know, sat down and actually have a conversation with anyone, not even my mother, not even my father, not anyone in my circle that are like family or friends or whoever. I've never had this type of conversation before. And I wonder if that's where deja vu comes from, is you used to live in a past life before. But when you was reborn again, you're not you're basically not living, your soul and spirit is not living in the same body as you used to live in when you lived on this earth before. And I believe somewhat that's true. For some reason, I feel like that's where deja vu comes from. That we've all experienced and saw glimpses of our past life before. But it's slowly, the memory is slowly being wiped from our minds, you know, because in a way, we are all reborn. Heavenly Father brings us back, and He slowly wipes our memories of our past. Sorry, but He slowly wipes our memories from our past lives, and He doesn't want us to know. He wants us to think that, oh, we're reliving a life. We're not reliving it, but we're living a life. And he tries to make it seem like this is the first time we lived upon this earth. But in reality, we probably lived on this earth so many times, so many years. But we've just been reset each time we pass away. Our spirit and our soul is reset and we enter a new body. But we do that. We enter a body, but our spirit and mind enters a body and a fetus of a human being that's a woman that's pregnant. And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this, but it's so mind blowing that my mind and my mindset is thinking like this. Like, Wow, just me thinking this is blowing my own mind, and I just cannot believe it. I can't believe it. I think that's what really happens. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. But I have this mindset that that's what happens in our lives. That's why we have these deja vu moments, a glimpse of seeing something that we've done and experienced before, but yet we're like, no, this didn't happen because this is the first time I ever did this. So how am I having glimpses of me doing this when when I when this is my first time doing this? You know what I'm saying? Wow. I think that is exactly where the whole deja vu comes from. Wow. But yeah, I feel that I don't know what I feel. I just have so much emotion going on right now and so much thought and so much things that I want to get out. I'm just, I feel like I am slowly healing by talking and expressing myself, even through this audio and me saying all this on this podcast of mine. I feel like me doing this is like healing me slowly. It's it feels like the more I'm gonna do this, the more the weight that's been weighing me down is slowly coming off of me. And I just think that I hope people out here in the world that comes across this podcast of mine, I hope that this listening to me opening up like this, hopefully it'll motivate you and get you to open up yourself and not let your silence override you and let your inner voice come out by expressing yourself and try to do everything you can to change the world through your voice by being the voice and helping others and inspire by being the inspiration to them to open their voice so they can fight for what they believe in and do what they think is right. Everyone should have a voice and everyone should fight for what they believe in, and everyone should be able to say and do whatever they want and not having to feel like they're being chained down and being constantly silenced by anyone. They should feel free to open their mouth and say what they want to say and speak on what they want to speak and have an opinion on what they want to have opinion on and like and dislike something that they like and dislike, etc., down the line. You know. So the new events that I've been hearing lately, and I want to bring this out. So the news is Britney Spears did a she did a memoir book and it's available, and it's basically available and released, and she also has an audio version. She has someone, you know, doing the narrate. I forgot how you pronounce it, but she has someone speaking for her. You know, if you get my drift, this whole thing is me trying to talk right now. It's basically like me getting tongue tied or try to say something to speak or whatever, because I'm so used to being so quiet and not saying nothing and trying to let let it go by by being one of those people like go with the flow, go with the flow type of scenario type of thing. And I'm just I need. But anyway, what I was about to say is I haven't read the book and I haven't listened to the audio version yet, or the audio of the memoir. But I want to say this: I am, I am proud that Brittany did this, because I think this is her. I think that her doing this is basically going to heal her, from all the stuff that she's endured and all the stuff that she has suffered through her life and everything that she has gone through in her life. And I think this book is a step forward of her healing process. And I just want to say that I hope and pray that things will start looking up for her, and hopefully she will do what she wants to do, and if she does something that she wants to do, hopefully it'll make her happy. I want her to be happy, and I want her to have a healthy, happy life, and I want her to enjoy her life as much as possible, no matter what, and just keep on living it, and not let no one drag her down, and not let anyone bring her down or chain her down or get her to the point where they silence her. And I want her to stay free, and be so open, and be who she wants to be. That's all I'm asking. And I'm not sitting here, gonna be one of these fans and sit here and like praise her or try to, I'm not down. Look, when I support an artist, I support them by just basically supporting them. Yeah, it may come off as praising or worshiping, but no, I support them. I support them and I respect them with their craft and their artistry, and what they're about. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, she's untouchable and all this. No, a lot of these artists and actors and these people that you see on TV and whatnot, some of them are human beings, and some of them are human beings. But you also got to remember that they also are signed under a record label as well. Some of them are not, because some of them may have the money to, buy their own building of label. Like, there might be certain artists nowadays that they have their own record label and whatnot, and they only can answer to themselves and themselves only. But there's some people that are signed, and some people that don't have the rights to their music and all that other stuff, etc., etc. You know how that goes. But it is what it is, and that's the way I see it. And I respect people that are real when it comes to what they bring to the table, when it comes to their music, and what they bring when it comes to their art and all that stuff. They have to be real and whatnot. And me, on the other hand, I love listening to some of Britney Spears songs. I mean, yeah, I love some of her songs. There's some songs that I listen to, and I'm like, not my kind of, not my cup of tea. But I don't sit there and bash her or say anything bad about her or be mean toward her or sit there and waste my energy and time constantly bashing her, saying all these kinds of stuff that are unnecessary to say. But that's how I am. And I listen to some Britney Spears music, and I love music that makes me feel like I can do anything. Music that will motivate me, that makes me feel positive, and stuff like that, that has emotion to it, that has a story to it, that gets you in the feels. That's the type of music that I like, and that's the type of music I rock with, and that's the type of artists that I support. And I know some Britney songs are like basically, more so feels like though it's from the label. Label wants her to sing this type of song, or this label wants her to do that. And I know some of her songs are like that because we all know things going on with Britney Spears. We all know, and I ain't gonna say anything else, but we all know the truth and what's going on. But the thing about it is there some artists like Mariah Carey, for example. She's my favorite singer. Okay, I'm saying it. A lot of people, some people know and some people don't. And I'm gonna say, yes, Mariah Carey is my favorite singer, and I love how when she sings the songs that she writes. Some of it is love songs, some of it is motivation type of songs, and some of them feel as though it's club type of songs. She has remixes, you name it, club songs, any type of song you could think of, any type of genre or whatever. She even has like two types of songs. I think one of them is maybe original or whatever, but the other one is like a cover that she did, and they're both basically in the category of a country song, and she did that. And I think she is really talented, and I love her songwriting ability. She's amazing and whatnot. And I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, she's God and all that. And I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like I'm praising her, like I'm worshiping her. But I'm just saying that Mariah, her voice is amazing. She has a very gifted, talented voice, and the when I listen to her songs and the fact that she writes her own songs, it just it it my it blows my mind that a woman like her is so creative when it comes to writing music. And I mean, oh my goodness, I still can't get over it. There's some songs that just gets me in my feels. Like a couple of times, like I love the roof song that we all know The Roof by Mariah Carey. That song, oh man, her her writing ability in that song is like, oh, man. I really do, and I don't know if other people feel the same way as me, but I have a feeling that maybe some fans, lambs that are like me, feel the same way. I really, really wish that the Roof song would be turned into a movie. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the Roof song in general turning into a movie? I mean, the way she described her experience. I mean, oh my goodness, just listen to the song. When you listen to the song, make sure you have the lyrics, because sometimes some people are like, oh, I'm listening to it, but I can't understand some of the words she's saying, or because their ears are like so focusing on a certain artist that they always listen to, and Mariah's voice sometimes isn't certain people's cup of tea or whatever, but you got to listen to her sing the Roof song and read the lyrics at the same time. Like, look in the lyrics while she's singing the song, and man, you will be mind blown. That song is amazing. But anyway, but as I said, Mariah Carey is my favorite singer. Like, she had my heart since I was 8, 9 years old, and there was a moment where I was sitting here debating who was my favorite singer between Britney Spears and Mariah Carey, because I love Britney Spears. I would basically listen to her music and dance or whatever, and I would go ham and go hard on Britney Spears music. And I also like listening to Mariah's music. Her music is so smoothing. I feel like listening to her music makes me feel like I'm floating on clouds or whatever. But the thing about it is is there was a moment when I was young, I would debate on the whole who's gonna be my favorite singer, Britney Spears or Mariah Carey, and I just said, you know what, Mariah Carey has that voice, and it's her voice is so untouchable. It's so smooth, and I can't describe it, but it's so smoothly like you can listen to her song, or listen to her song, any song by her, and if you're laying down on a bed and you're just listening to her, and you can just close your eyes, and while you're listening to her sing and having your eyes closed, I mean, Mariah Carey can put you to sleep. It's her songs are basically almost like a lullaby, but it's like a lullaby for adults, but also it can be for children too. Because when I was 8 or 9, and I could listen to her songs or whatever, and I would just sit there and close my eyes, laying on my bed or whatever, and I could just fall right to sleep because that's how beautiful her voice is. But I said Mariah Carey is my favorite singer because she has that voice that I just I just rock with, and I support so hard on. Not only that, but her writing skills are incredible. And I put Britney Spears in the category of being my favorite performer. Like she was in the category of my favorite performer. Like, not performer, but somebody that has the she was so poppy, and her songs were so danceable, and it makes you want to dance and get on the floor and have fun, and just feel like you can do anything on the dance floor while listening to her music, and that's what Britney Spears' music did to me, and I just put her in that basically, I just put her in that category. One of my favorite, she was one of the my favorite artists that I could listen to the point where I could listen to her music and feel like I could dance and do whatever I want on the dance floor, and that's the type of category Britney Spears is when it comes to me supporting and liking her. Now, I mean, am I like one of those, you know, wild and crazy fans? You know which one I'm talking about. I'm not gonna sit here and constantly worship Britney Spears. I mean, she's a great person, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think, and she's a good person. I mean, a lot of people say that they saw her in person, and she's so sweet and she's so nice and all this other stuff. And not only they say it, but some famous people say it too, like singers, rappers, and actors, and all this other stuff. They say she's a sweet, nice girl, and I mean, it is what it is. So I mean, like I said, but besides that point, I mean, I wish both of them well, and I will still support them no matter what. But I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like I'm, you know, oh my God, worshiping them and all that other stuff, and making it seem like, oh, they're untouchable and all this shit, because they're human beings just like us. The only thing about it is with them, they're just very talented and creative when it comes to their music, and their writing abilities when it comes to their songs. And I know there's songs that Britney Spears wrote, but there's other songs that she has done that she has not wrote. So I'm not claiming that Britney Spears writes all her songs that she has ever sung or whatever, but I know she has done wrote some songs that she has sung in some of her albums and whatnot. So let's just say that. But the thing of it is I just want to say that I I have so in my life, I've been through so much in my life. When I was young, my mom and myself, we were struggling. I mean, we were struggling sometimes when it comes to having a roof over our head, and we would bounce and whatnot from place to another with her friends that she knew. We would live there for amount of time and or amount of months, year, whatever, and it was just crazy. I've experienced that. I've always experienced bouncing from one place to another, and I've experienced the whole living in a vehicle and not having a roof over my head and having to struggle on the fact of being hungry to where I didn't have the money to get what I want, to get something to eat or whatever. There was time where I was thin. Like I wasn't thin, but I was like little chunky, but a little thin, but not, big or whatever. But I was thin enough to where I could fit certain clothes that were a little, but I didn't have the body that I have now. And before I had that body, I was big, almost the same weight as I am now. And now it's like, okay, one moment I was big, and then I got thin and somewhat close to skinny, and then all of a sudden I got big and thick and whatnot all over again, and have this weight on me. And I mean, I did it before. I did it before. I got that weight down before, and I can do it again. It's just I gotta get my mindset to that place again that I had before. That made me constantly stay on myself by what I did. I was constantly dancing, listening to music, recording myself. Like I was like doing three takes of dancing to one song because I wanted to do like a video of me dancing to show my progress of me trying to lose this weight. And it was like three times I was doing a full song, three times back to back, because one time I would dance to the full song, and then I would like look at myself dancing through the video, and I'm like, ugh, I don't like the way I did that. Oh fuck, let me do it again, and then I'll do it again, and then I'll come out sloppy all over again, and then the third take will basically be the one, and they'll come out like better than the other two, and I'm like, okay, I'll upload that on my YouTube. This was on my old YouTube. That well, actually, my old YouTube I had my old YouTube channel that I used to have. I will upload the progress of me, losing weight by dancing, and I would do that. I would basically do this pretty much every day. Every day. The only days I would probably basically have off was basically on a Saturday and Sunday. Those were my 2 days to relax. But when it came to Monday all the way through Friday, I would do it all over again. Dancing to a song, the whole song, 3 times. It'll basically be three times. I would be basically dancing, almost close to, I would say almost an hour, maybe 2 hours tops. 2 hours tops of me constantly like straight dancing every day. And the more I did that, the more I was slowly losing weight. And I'm telling you, dancing, dancing is a way to help lose weight. I was like I was eating, but I was eating like maybe once or twice a day or whatever. Or I eat a little meal or whatever. Like I'll constantly eat like like small or medium meals, two times a day, maybe three, but not too much food. And I was still slowly lose the weight while I'm doing the whole, lose weight by dancing and whatnot. And that was my thing. And I will get back into that. I just gotta get my whole mindset to that place that I had when that happened before. Everything nowadays is so crazy nowadays that it's just like everything that's going on in this world, and just seeing it and witnessing it and just knowing about it, it just, man, I know I'm not the only one, but it just feels like it just like sucks the life right out of you in general, and it just makes you feel so down. It makes you like so down, like it gets you to the mindset where it's like draining everything, every energy that you have, and it's draining you so much. It's crazy. It is what it is, and I'm just saying that, yeah. But, okay, we got to that part. Everything's out in the open. Oh, yeah, I want to say this. Not only do I rock with Britney Spears and Mariah Carey, but I also rock hard. Big supporter of Tom MacDonald. Tom MacDonald, Nova Rockefeller, Brandon Hart. I rock with Adam Calhoun. I'm telling you right now, the first album that Tom and Adam did, which was The Brave One, that was a pretty good album, but I'm telling you right now, is The Brave Two between them, which was recently released. I'm telling you, that album is basically a masterpiece. I'm telling you, that album overrides the first album. Like, the second album between them is so much more than the first one. I'm telling you. Like, don't get me wrong. I liked the first album and their songs from the first album that I love and I rock with. But I'm telling you, it's like every song on the Brave 2 was like a smash in the face. It was like a hitter after a hitter, a hitter after a hitter. It was a jam after jam, and it was, it's an amazing album, and I totally mess with it a whole lot, and I respect and appreciate this Brave 2 album that Tom and Adam did with one another, and the fact that Nova Rockefeller was a part of it. Brandon Hart did some singing part into the song "Your America." I think, yeah, he did that one little note in "Your America." He was part of that too, and you had uh the one, the only Dax himself. He was a feature on the album as well. Well, not a feature, but he was also a part of the track between him and between Tom and Adam with the whole black and white song, and they did their thing on that song. Especially Dax, he did his thing. Um, what is it? There was a lot of artists that were on the Brave 2 on certain tracks that I never heard of, but they did their thing on it. Uh, Manchild, he's another person, and he did his thing on it too. I mean, Manchild is very talented, and much respect to him, dude. I I'm hoping and praying that he continues to do his thing with his music and just keep going at it and not let anybody chain him down and whatnot, and just keep on doing him and whatnot. But like I said, I hate saying the whole whatnot thing. I don't know why I say that, but for some reason, apparently I say it. I don't know why, but anyway, what is it? Let's see. Yeah, Nova. I mean, I'm telling you, Nova. She blew Tom and Adam out of the park with Chrome. Like, she killed her verse. She killed it. And if nobody doesn't know Nova, she also writes her own songs and her own. She also does music as well, but she also writes her own songs as well as Tom does. And not only does she do that, but she also directs, meaning she, directs her music videos and Tom's music videos. She does the editing and all that stuff. So she's really creative and she's really talented, and I really respect her and appreciate her as a human being and as an independent artist as she is, just as well as Tom and everyone else that's in Tom's circle. Dealing with these whole independent artists that he be, you know, working with. Like that recent song that he did with John Rich. We all know who John Rich is. He did a song with John Rich called End of the World. It's been so long since I listened to that song, but that song is a pretty decent song, and I like it. They did their thing, and John Rich did his thing. It's, you know, I respect him as an artist too, and I hope he continues to keep on going with his music as well as Tom, Nova, Dax, Brandon Hart, Madchild, and anyone else that is in Tom MacDonald's circle when it comes to the whole independent artists. But yeah, girl power, you know what I mean? Nova Rockefeller. Girl power in full. Oh man. Yeah. Well, anyway, well, this is close to the end of the podcast, so I'm gonna say, as I said in the beginning, my name is Star Biggs. I was gonna say my so-called marriage name, but ugh, I don't like that marriage name. Yeah, I used to be involved with him, and I used to have feelings, and I used to love him, but you know, thing about it is, I haven't been with him for so many years that I can't even keep track of how many years we've been apart. But all I know is Biggs is my maiden name. Biggs is my heart, because that is also my real dad's last name, and my real dad is no longer living. He's in heaven with Heavenly Father, and I love my maiden last name because I I took my real dad's last name, and my real dad, aka, which is his name, is Danny Biggs. He means a lot to me, and there's not a day that goes by, that I do not think of him, because I do, and I still miss him, and I know deep down inside that he's watching over me, even though I can't see him, but I know he's watching over me, and it is what it is. If not, I'm sure Heavenly Father upstairs tells him info on me, or whatever, I don't know, but anyway, who knows, like Tom MacDonald says, I mean, I don't, you know, hopefully when I pass away, I go to heaven, but if I don't, if I don't make it to heaven, I respect the decision. Either way I look at it, I respect the decision. There's a lot of things that I've gone through in my life, and there's a lot of things that I've endured from people that I used to love and I used to know, and that mean a lot to me, that they've done nothing but wrong towards me by speaking ill on me, dragging my name through the mud, saying nothing but trash about me behind my back, and I didn't deserve it, knowing I never said anything bad about them or said anything out of the way towards them, and I'm the one apparently that gets attacked, and people always assume that when they hear these stories about me from this party, they end up believing it, even though down inside that the people that are telling them this are nothing but liars. All they want to do is stay miserable, and they basically, the fact that they want to constantly talk bad about me behind my back, and knowing I never did nothing to them, they just want to live in they want to live in the miserable life by bringing other people down and whatnot. And the fact that certain people, when they hear horrible things about me from this from this party, this person, the other party will end up believing everything that this person tells them. And it's crazy. It is what it is. And the thing about it is, I am to the point where I don't care anymore. I don't care. They could talk about me all they want, because you know what? The moment I'm to the point where the moment I hear them talking about me, I'm just gonna sit here and celebrate. I'm just gonna sit here and throw a party. I'm like, oh hell yeah, you're talking about me? Hell yeah, let's celebrate. Because apparently the fact that the fact I'm sitting here laughing because the fact that I have not done nothing to them, and I'm minding my own business in my own world, and yet apparently they're so bothered by me that it comes to the point where they have nothing better to do, and they talk nothing bad about. They have nothing better to do than talk down on me behind my back and say nothing but bad stuff about me behind my back, and claiming apparently I did this, apparently I did that, knowing I never did this and did that, of what they're telling people that I've done and whatnot, knowing that basically what they're saying is not true. But whatever, you know, it is what it is. Let them, you know. I'm just gonna sit here and do my thing, and I'm just gonna do what makes me happy, and that's about it. And constantly live my life the way I want to live it. And if, you know, let them do what they want to do. If that's what they're about, then that's what they're about. But the other thing about it is this: I basically, they're basically, they're no longer in my life anymore. I'm telling you this now. I basically blocked them. They're not even on my friends list. So I'm just making that clear. So ever since ever since that happened, I started feeling a little bit better. I started feeling a little bit better. And the fact that I'm sitting here doing this podcast and talking, I just feel so. I feel like the more I'm talking, the more so much weight has been lifted off my shoulders. It's like so amazing, and I feel like I'm. The more I'm doing this, the more healing it's. I'm gonna end up, by the time this whole podcast is over with, I'm gonna be so healed that I'm gonna finally feel like my whole body, my spirit, and my soul is so clean and free. I'm gonna feel like a brand new person, and I just can't wait for that. And I am so happy. Just me saying this on the podcast, and I'm going to be enjoying and experiencing in this journey with each and every one of you is basically life changing. Well, I just want to say this. Hopefully, y'all listening to this podcast will help y'all out too in the process of also listening will also heal you and also motivate you to also speak out and let your inner voice be heard, and not let anyone silence you and not let anyone chain you down to make you feel like you are not worth it, or you don't matter, or whatever the case may be. Hopefully this podcast will do so much justice to you by healing you and giving you the justice and the healing that you deserve, that you will become a better human being in the end, and you will start feeling like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders, just as well as it's starting to feel to me. So, by the way, my favorite color is purple, and no, I'm not asking anyone that has subscribed to my channel. I am not asking anyone to give me money, send me money. I'm not all about that. I know some YouTubers are like that, but I am not like that. So, hopefully you enjoyed this podcast, episode 1, The Open Book. Stay tuned for episode 2. for the episode 2 of the Open Book podcast coming soon. Enjoy. May Heavenly Father bless each and every one of you and continue to look over you and bless your life and your loved one's life. Till the next one, much love to you all. Bye.